folks. I hope you're all well. I thought I would take a moment to record a lecture about the progress report discussion board post that you've got to do for us in HSP404 fairly shortly. Now, if you know me well, you'll know that I like daggy little graphics that explain what we need to do for your assignment when I'm talking about this stuff. So, of course, the first picture I have is someone thinking about their HSP404 topic. Then you need to be able to connect with either a workplace expert or a UTAS academic advisor. And in some instances, people will need both, depending on what their topic area is. Then after you've done that and you've made connections with those people, then you need to write a little outline and put that into the post as well. And then, of course, you type it all up on the discussion board. I've put up a link to the discussion board for this particular assignment, so it should be fairly easy to find. So this is due at the end of week 4 at midnight on Friday. The specific due date is on the Milo site for you. It's a maximum of 500 words, and that excludes your references if you've got any references that you want to put in terms of a list. And it's weighted at 20%. The task particularly requires you to initiate, complete, and provide a progress report on your topic and your academic and workplace advisors that will support your study over the semester. So the steps that we sort of encourage you to follow is to locate, contact, and confirm academic advisor at the university based on their subject matter expertise, and to do the same in terms of your workplace as well. Then after you've done that, you'll write up your progress report post as a discussion board post, okay? It's pretty simple. No Word documents or anything like that. This describes your research topic, including, suggested title and research question, lists and the name and contact details of your workplace subject matter expert and your university advisor, and you actually need to link each of their relevances to your research project. So how are they relevant to what you're doing? So, for instance, your workplace advisor may be your area manager. It's that simple. Or your university advisor may be someone that has subject matter expertise around forensic studies. I hope that makes sense. So just very quickly telling us about the relevance of those people to what you're doing. After that, you provide a proposed dot point outline. Now, this is not set in stone, but it will help you to think about this in advance and then structure your task further down the line. So this is what your final research paper will discuss, all right? And you can talk about this with your advisors as you're going through. And finally, which is where you probably use up most of your words, is identifying possible hurdles or pitfalls in the proposed research topic. So for instance, having a lack of resources in some way, or if you're doing an empirical project, needing ethics approval, for instance, which is a fairly big deal. And I'd encourage you to think about that very quickly, if that's the case. So some general tips. I've thought a lot about what might go into this because it's really important to get that thinking process happening. So you want to be able to answer a specific research question, and you can think about this through these questions. Will you be doing an analysis of existing research and making a case to do further research? If that's the case, then you'll most likely be discussing research literature in your paper. If you're doing a policy analysis, for instance, in the workplace, then you'll most likely be engaging with research literature, workplace documents, sometimes even wider government documents, depending on what the context is. So, for instance, if you're talking about sexual harassment in the workplace, then you'd probably want to look at the Victorian, the latest HERIOC review and all of that sort of stuff. Are you doing a business case where you're asking for further resources in the workplace? If yes, then that's something where you'll be looking at workplace documents, obviously. Also having a look at research literature that says that you need that type of stuff, workplace data, and perhaps wider government documents. So in terms of the research literature, for instance, if you were going to make a case that you need a permanent full-time psychologist in a particular work area, then you need to go and find research that shows how the people in your work area are more likely to be stressed or to suffer from burnout or PTSD or whatever, and use that research to support what you're saying. And finally, another example, will you be doing an evaluation or other research that requires empirical data collection? And if that's the case, you need to think really carefully because you'll likely need ethics, and this will need additional time. And of course, most of the things you'll be looking at in terms of documents and things is the research literature. So that just gives you some examples of the types of ways that you can think about and approach this this overarching task that you've got to do within your unit. So what about feedback to past students? Well, we don't have any because we haven't done this before. You are in fact a whole bunch of guinea pigs for this new assignment regime in this unit, and we would love to know what you think. If you think it's good, if you think it's terrible, how you think we could improve it, all of that sort of stuff. So unfortunately we haven't got any feedback, but this one's fairly straightforward. You should be okay. We do have a marking rubric. It tells you that you need to be able to justify the topic very carefully using scholarly literature, challenge identification and mitigation. So actually identifying the issues that might get in the way of you doing this project, and then how you're actually going to manage that. What are you going to do and put into place to help with that? And of course, communication of information and ideas, expression, spelling and grammar, clear paragraphing, and any referencing that you want to do. And you can choose any style that you like. And finally, we've got outlining the research project. So you have to have a clear outline of specific elements of your proposed research, making sure that you're drawing on current and relevant literature. It's very important. Okay. That's pretty much it for this one. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with any of us at any time, and look forward to chatting with you soon. See you later.